My name is Marcin Lewandowski. I'm from the company Software Mention. We are an agency, software agency located in Poland, in Krakow, beautiful city of Krakow. I hope you are going to spend a nice evening with Harris or nice morning if you're in the States. You will learn a lot and you will come back to us next time. So I'm not going to make this any longer. I pass the mic to, like virtual mic to that finally works to Harris. So thank you very much. Have a nice time.
My name is Haris Mahmoud. I'm a senior engineer at Shopify. There's my GitHub and Twitter and Instagram handle, so feel free to hit me up. So Shopify is a leading global commerce company, which means that we provide the tools that you'd need to start, grow, market, manage a retail business of any size. Our platform is engineered for performance, scale, and reliability while delivering a better shopping experience for customers worldwide. Now, a couple of additional neat facts is that we support over 1 million merchants on our platform, which is truly incredible. The first thing that comes about with any project is trying to deal with managing colors. Now, colors are notoriously hard to name, they're hard to keep track of, and they become super hard to maintain. Similarly, font styles are just as painful. So we realized that we were needing to write a fair amount of code to style every single text element that exists in our app. So Restyle is open source. It's built in-house by Shopify, but it's available for all of you folks to use as well. The relationship and understanding between your designers and developers needs to be rock solid. We realized that we needed to reference colors the same way, sizing the same way, components the same way, use similar terminology in the naming system that was established for those things to make sure that we were having the most efficient conversations as possible, and future iterations of work were very easy to handle. Okay, so now let's go back to theming on dark mode. We know we want to introduce dark mode, or we want to introduce a new theme. So that's sort of how we built the new shop rebrand. We essentially created a brand new theme behind the scenes and worked on that. It optionally accepts a value for each screen size. So you can define these different screen sizes as breakpoints in your theme. All of this is tied to using TypeScript. If you're using, hopefully, a text editor that uses or is powered or utilizes TypeScript, you get all the type enforced benefits and the awesome dev experience that TypeScript provides. So you get all of the awesome autocomplete functionality when you're building out an app. Which state management library are we using? So we rely on, so for all of our GraphQL needs, we rely on Apollo. Apollo Cache is what we use to store our state, and we use context to handle most of our state changes and just update Apollo Cache. We don't use Redux, we don't use MobX or anything else like that. Next question from Scott. Do you wind up using Restyle for most components in your app, or is it mostly around view and text? How do you decide when to create custom Restyle components? Great questions. So for the first one, do you wind up using Restyle for most of your components in your app? Yes, we do. Like practically everything, like 98% of our UI uses Restyle across the board. There might be a couple of small instances where we just have like inline, like we just use the style prop to provide different values that we need to grab from like animation values, for example, animated like position values or something like that. But when it comes to stylistic things, we try and rely on Restyle as much as we possibly can. So anytime we're not able to use Restyle values, or let's say we're not able to use like the box and text components that we created through Restyle, we get to use the use theme hook that Restyle provides. And so we can pull in those theme values from there and apply those as necessary. So quite often, if you're using like a third-party library or that, I don't know, like builds a component like a slider or something like that, that might have its own set of ways that you need to provide colors, for example. So that might be a place where you can use the use theme hook, pull in the current theme, pull in those color values, and pass those in to whatever the API needs are for that component. And how do you decide when to create custom Resale components? So this is This is a good question as well. So anytime where we had a component that required a lot of unique functionality, a lot of maybe like dynamic styling needs as well. For I think like the button comes into mind because you have to accommodate different states with regards to default state, disabled state, loading state, maybe a couple of others, lots of different variants as well. So that might be a great opportunity. As soon as you realize that, hey, things are getting a little crazy while trying to do this with just a default box or text component, that's an awesome opportunity to create a custom component. There's a bunch of additional details about this in the README for Restyle on GitHub, so I recommend checking that out as well.